Hello. Got something kind of interesting here. It's Saranac's Winter Lager. I used to drink Saranac a lot when I was living in Vermont, and I think still in the Boston area. But like 10 to 15 years ago, Saranac and like Long Trail and Otter Creek would often have 12 packs for like 10 to 12, $13, and I would just kind of get the cheaper ones. I liked craft beer, but I didn't really I didn't have a very discerning palate 15 years ago. And what's cool is that this is exactly a month old. I got a variety pack that's fresh. Probably maybe the freshest Saranac beer I ever got. So Saranac is from Utica, New York. That's what it says. And I think this is one of their sort of beers they've been making for a long time. It's always been in their variety pack. Their winter variety pack. They actually say that it's their winter variety pack is the original seasonal variety pack. Did they really invent that idea? I don't know. And it says right on here, lager with wildflower honey and cinnamon. So it doesn't have a huge amount of crazy spices. But we'll see. It's 6% alcohol. And that's it. I don't know if they've changed this beer over the years. If they haven't, then it's likely I've had it before. And they actually had some, like a hazy Pilsner and a hazy IPA in the pack, and those ones are even fresher than this, so they might actually be good. We'll see. So that's not very dark. I was thinking this might be a little bit darker. Hopefully it's better than the Sam Adams Winter Lager, which they're making all of their beers like now lighter and brighter, and which is very bad. Hopefully this has some malt character. And having honey cinnamon's kind of interesting, but cinnamon is a very strong flavor to me, so hopefully it's not too strong. Actually, just mostly smells like a honey lager. Yeah, it doesn't smell like a Christmas tree. It just smells like honestly kind of smells like an Oktoberfest. I'm happy about that. It smells clean. It smells just like a malty lager. And maybe a little bit of floral honey notes, slightly almost caramely. It's kind of an interesting color. It looks like some Oktoberfests that are like some Märzens, I guess, are like this. Doesn't smell like it's gonna be too sweet. Yeah, cinnamon definitely comes in the flavor, but it's like not that strong. It actually almost kind of adds like a drying element a bit. A lot of times it'll just be strong and make the beer seem sweeter or something, but I guess this has kind of a drying out mouthfeel, despite it's not hoppy or anything like that. And the honey and the cinnamon are pretty subtle. It's just a malty lager first. But I mean, I would probably be able to guess that it's cinnamon in here. But thankfully it's not cinnamon and allspice and nutmeg and cloves and all that sort of stuff. So what I'm enjoying about this is that it's really just amber lager first, then hints of honey and cinnamon. Some people might be upset with that, but there's so many breweries that like this kind of crafty breweries, kind of legacy breweries, not really necessarily craft legacy, but in between, like Genesee, and they make all these traditional styles, but then they add flavorings to them, and the flavorings kind of almost are too strong and ruin it, and I wish I could just have the base beer. But this one, and actually it's got a nice head. It's still sticking around. Excuse me, I kind of got this as, not exactly a joke, but just like I was curious. Because Saranac kind of disappeared almost from the Boston area. And now I'm seeing some 12 packs coming back. But for some reason at Total Wine they're like $20 or even more, and it's like, what? Saranac used to be the cheaper one. So at Wegmans is an upstate New York company, so not far from Saranac, and maybe they get some deal. But this was, I think, $17. Not exactly the $12 it was 10 years ago, but yeah, it's a little spicy, a little nutty. But super duper clean. It's like, this is better than Genesee, better than like Yingling, Oktoberfest. It is more expensive for sure. The Genesee 12 packs of their Oktoberfest are only like $11 at Wegmans. But I say this is better quality. This is like, it doesn't have the mass produced quality to it. I guess it is, thankfully it's fresh, so it's not having that. It's is it pasteurized? It's pretty damn clear. Is it filtered? There are some tiny little particulates in there. And it's not getting cloying. The cinnamon is, yeah, it's adding a slight spicy warmth to it. But I'm tasting kind of minerally lager yeast, slightly lower pH or something like that, giving it sort of refreshing and dry somehow. It's not too sweet. The honey is not really that much there. It's almost like the cinnamon's filling in for hops. I would probably prefer if it was just a little bit hoppier and no cinnamon. But it's just a good quality amber lager first. And well made, nice mouthfeel. It's not bubbly, it's not soda-like. I guess the big question is, if after I drink several of these Saranac beers, I get this soda-like aftertaste? That's what I get from a lot of macro beers. Is it just is kind of like, after you drink some of them, it's like you just drank a Coca-Cola. It only takes one Diet Coke to give you really bad breath from that, and that's the aftertaste that I don't like. But if you have several, hams or high lives, and you start getting that, and I get that with macro beers. So we'll see. But I think this is just a quality. Like, I think it's a quality lager. It's. But it's about the same price as like Von Trapp. Von Trapp is obviously better, but they're not making these sort of nostalgic American styles, which I wanted to return to. So for a rating, I'd give this. I mean, it's not exactly bland. It has plenty of malt flavor. So this gets. I might even give this close to a 4. If people want a winter lager that's really big and festively spiced, don't go for this one. This is a million times better than the Sam Adams winter lager that's spicy and has not much malt character. This is nice and malty, almost like a cherry, caramely sort of thing. So yeah, close to a 4. Bye.